So Google just entered a serious race with Nvidia to become the biggest trillion-dollar AI winner. I did not say that. This is what Elon Musk said in a recent interview when he was asked, if you are a regular investor and you want to invest in a company to grow your money, which company would you pick? Surprisingly, he did not pick Tesla. He picked Google. Take a look at what he said.
I don't really, buy stocks. So it's not like I'm not like an investor in. I don't like look for things to invest in. I just try to build things, and then there happens to be stock of the company that I built. But I don't think about should I invest in this company, or I don't have like a portfolio or anything. So I guess AI and robotics are going to be very important. So I suppose it would be AI and robotics that aren't related to me. I think Google is going to be pretty valuable in the future. They've laid the groundwork for an immense amount of value creation from an AI standpoint.
So Google stock doubled in the last 7 months, meaning if you bought Google stock on April 2025, you would have doubled your money by today. Google is now becoming one of the very popular stocks, and only a few months ago, the stock was one of the most hated stock ever because everyone thought that ChatGPT, Grok, DeepSeek, and all the other AI search engines or platforms, they were eating Google's lunch, and no one is using Google search anymore. Well, Google shocked everyone and with Gemini developments, and not only that, but with real numbers, because Google's revenue did not show any weakness. So that all these ChatGPT things did not affect it. And let's not forget that Warren Buffett just loaded up on Google and bought $4.9 billion worth of shares. In this episode, I will tell you why Google will hit $450 by 2026 based on numbers and data, not feelings, because there is no place for feelings in the stock market. I believe this will be another episode that I will look back into in 2026, just like AMD's episode that I made back in June 20th this year. I made an analysis that AMD will hit $232 and it was only $120. Soon, only 4 months later, and the stock hit $250 in October. To be honest, I can't time the market and predict when is this stock gonna hit that number, but I knew that this stock is undervalued at its current price at that time, which was only $128 for AMD. Let's also not forget that I hit the table on these stocks back in 2022, and they all doubled after 2 to 3 years, and that's how I have my 6 figures portfolio right now because of my analysis. So in this episode, I will share with you the bull case, the base case, and the bear case scenario for Google in 2026, and I will share with you the stock price in 2026. By that, you will know if Google is still a buy or not. Also, I will give you a portfolio update about my 6 figures portfolio and which stocks I'm holding right now. And also, I went ahead and bought 3 stocks last week. I will share with you which stocks I bought. Also, I will talk about what made Warren Buffett quietly add Google shares while others chased Nvidia. Because we know that Buffett has been avoiding tech stocks for many years. What made him change his mind now and pick Google specifically? Finally, I will talk about how AI will change Google's core business model in the future. If you think you learned something new from my videos, please give this video a like and let's start. So, Google stock price let's start with the bear case scenario for Google in 2020. I think this scenario is less likely to happen, but we should consider it still. Let's assume that the ad revenue weakens and AI investment is not showing any profits because other AI competitors like ChatGPT, Grok, etc. started developing more and started to eat from Google's profits. Also, the surrounding situation is getting worse, meaning the economy is weakening with higher inflation and Fed rate kept the rates higher. In this case, we can see Google stock price in 2026 range between $200 to $260. This could erase all 2025 gains. Let's move on to the base case scenario. I think this case could happen, but I still believe in a bull case scenario for Google. So the base case, let's assume that things stay the same with no major development in AI and ad revenue is growing steadily, cloud continues to grow, and YouTube revenue as well. With that, we can see Google stock price range between the $400. $410, $400, $390, and so on. Let's move on to the bull case scenario. I think this scenario is more likely to happen. Let's assume that Google successfully monetizes its AI investment and expand cloud with great ad revenue. Also, add to that the economy gets better, meaning inflation stays the same or decrease a little bit with Fed cutting rates next year. This will put Google stock price range between $400 to $450. This is around 40 to 30% increase from the current price. Based on this data, yes, Google stock is a buy from today's price, but only look at the gains by the end of 2026 because there could be fluctuation throughout the year. But what made Warren Buffett quietly add Google shares while others chased Nvidia? Well, we all know that one of Warren Buffett's main criteria is to pick a stock that the company is valued right, because tech stocks are valued based on future earnings and they always reinvest heavily rather than return cash, and that's why Warren Buffett avoided all tech stocks for a long time, because he cannot value the company. Google broke this criteria and started to behave more like a classic cash flow generating business like Apple, for example. The ad business is maturing, creating a moat, and the expansion of the cloud and AI infrastructure combined made Google look like a company with moat, growth, cash generation, more like Apple's business model. So even with all the disruption that we have been through this year, we saw many tech giants got hit and lost 20% in a week or 10% in a week. Google stayed performing well despite the new competitors just entered the market. Google showed a strong free cash flow that is uninterruptible. Historically, Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger admitted regretting not buying Google when it was much cheaper than that. Buffett kept watching Google over time and watched its growth, and when the valuation and fundamentals aligned with Buffett's criteria, he went ahead and bought shares. That's what happened. But why Google and not other tech companies like Nvidia, for example, or Amazon? Because Google is one of the few tech companies that kept lots of cash and not reinvested heavily, like Meta, for example, in the last quarter, when they reinvested $70 billion on AI infrastructure last quarter, caused the stock to crash 20% in just a few days. Don't get me wrong, I am bullish on Meta and I own shares on Meta, but this does not align with Buffett's investing criteria. But how AI will change Google's core business model in the future? Well, the old methodology of searching will change. Instead of you go to Google website and search for something and click on a link that pops up, they will type their search for or question and the answer will pop up immediately, kind of like what's going on with ChatGPT and Gemini, but in a more sophisticated way. Like a conversation. Google becomes more of an AI helper rather than a traditional search engine. Also, Google will become an AI platform. We know that Google already owns a lot of data from all users. This could give Google the advantage to become the AI backbone of the internet. Now, let's move on to a quick portfolio update about my six figures portfolio. Currently, I'm sitting at $182,000 and 407. Just 3 years ago, I was sitting on 5 figures and now 6 figures. And the goal is to reach 7 figures in the upcoming 5 years and hit our first $1 million together. That's the mission of this channel. I believe we can reach that together. So last week, I went ahead and bought $463 worth of AMD and $308 worth of Amazon, $771 worth of Meta. These are my current holdings. If you wonder what got me 6 figures, these are the stocks that got me there. And now I went ahead and bought these stocks as I think they will double in the upcoming 3 years. If you enjoyed this content, I made another episode about why Meta will shock everyone in 2026. If you want to watch this video, click here.